Hi, and welcome back to Jen and Dan's Natural Healing with Plants, the go-to podcast for holistic health seekers looking to harness the power of nature for health and healing. I'm Jen, a passionate health educator, whole food plant-based culinary coach, and master herbalist, and I'm with Dan, an exercise specialist and wonderful master herbalist. Together, we dive into the world of natural healing, bringing you a wealth of knowledge and practical advice. We draw from both traditional wisdom and modern science with herbs and foods to help you achieve optimal health. So today we're asking a big question. What really happens when you eat more plants and ditch the animal products, oils, and processed stuff? As a matter of fact, I had a client a few weeks ago who said someone told her she needed to stop eating carcasses. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good advice.
Yes. So, Dan, where should we start with this topic today?
Well, I think we should start with the science because there's a trend now where there's all types of diets going around online, but is there really any science behind it?
Exactly. Right. Right. And plant-based, it's not only has it been around a lot recently, if we go all the way back to the beginning of time,
Hmm.
what did people have to eat?
Yes, but they'll tell you, well, they were hunters gatherers. No, they did hunt a little bit, but if you look at the research of the archaeological findings, that even the cavemen were about 80% plant-based because it's not that easy to bag some game every day, especially if you're using a spear, you know?
Right. Yeah. What did they have back then? Exactly. How were they
Yeah.
catching these? Yeah. So eating plant-based is not just a fad. When we eat plant-based, especially whole, unprocessed, and fiber-rich foods, which fiber is only in plants, we're not just feeding ourselves, we're feeding our microbiome. And that influences our genes, that influences our neurotransmitters and how we feel. There's so many other things that eating plants do for us, right?
Yeah, and the research is catching up with herbalists and traditional healers have taught. Plants don't just nourish us, they regulate inflammation, support our detoxification, and help the body find balance again. This is really, really important now than ever before because our environment is so polluted.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. If we think about, well, I mean, even if we just go back a couple of thousand years, that we are exposed to so much more than people were back then. If we were, I mean, so 2000 years ago, they were making breads, they had farming and things like that, but they didn't have factories and they didn't have all these man-made chemicals that we're exposed to. They may have had contaminants in their water like bacterias, and people died very quickly from things like that, poor hygiene. But we don't die from those things anymore, but now we have all these chemicals that are affecting all parts of our bodies and that's just in our drinking water. But then we're adding
Yeah,
chemicals as well. So that's getting off topic. But
but it's a
plants
good
help
topic.
us to detox. Our liver relies on us getting foods, especially like vitamin C. We're one of the only animals that doesn't create our own vitamin C. So we have to get vitamin C from our foods. And so eating, fruits, eating raw foods to get those vitamin C's. When we cook foods, we destroy the vitamin C. When we let food sit for a while, it loses its vitamin C. So eating really fresh, raw fruits and vegetables is really great for the liver, as well as all of our vitamins and minerals that we need for energy and detoxification.
So let's break down some of the benefits because I've noticed that some people are kind of a tough sell on some things. So, but if you can tell them about some of the benefits may resonate with them, and they're more willing to try this because that's what we try to do is we try to help people get healthier. So one of the benefits is it lowers inflammation. A lot of people, well, what is that? I mean, is that like when my knee hurts? Like, well, that's one part of it. But what we're talking about is inflammation, internal inflammation, low grade internal inflammation. And science has
Systemic.
shown, yeah, systemic, and science is showing that it is the driver of most of our modern diseases. The inflammation is causing things like heart disease, cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, all these autoimmune disease. So we don't want to
Yes.
walk around. We want to do something about it. And that's one of the first benefits of eating plant-based. It helps to lower this inflammation.
Yes. And looking at your cholesterol, if you think you have high cholesterol, it could be a heart problem, but it could also be stemmed from inflammation. That's the first place I like to go if I have a client who has high cholesterol, is put them on plants to lower the inflammation.
Yes, that's a good place to start. The next one is we hear about this a lot is it supports your hormone balance, and this becomes more important as we get older, especially women in menopause. Even guys, we're not immune to having hormone problems as we get older. So eating the right
Yes.
foods can help us keep our hormones healthy. Because if you have a hormone imbalance, you're going to tell. I mean, those symptoms you may be more fatigued. It may be harder to lose weight. You might start gaining more fat. Some people even start to lose some hair. I mean, there's a lot of different things that can happen there.
Yes, and hormones don't just involve the sex hormones. We have, I don't remember exactly how many hormones we have, but we have hormones all over our body,
Mm.
hormones that control the thyroid. We all hear about thyroid. Thyroid is regulates your metabolism. And so if we have a poor hormone balance regulating the thyroid, then we're going to have problems with the metabolism, with body temperature, with hair growth, even. And so we have hormones throughout the whole body, and eating plant-based lowers the inflammation, but also helps with balancing hormone balance. I am an expert in autoimmune disease, and one of the things I do is I focus on eating a whole food plant-based diet to help with cooling inflammation and balancing the hormones to help with repairing autoimmune disease.
And it brings us to the next benefit is improves our gut health, which is ties all this together because the gut health, if it's off, you're gonna have more inflammation, you're gonna have problems with hormone production, you're gonna have problems with serotonin. So the gut is they're showing now that pretty much I call the gut our command center for health
Yeah.
because it dictates how healthy we're going to be.
Exactly. Yes. And eating whole food, plant-based improves your diversity. We don't want to eat the same thing every day. We want to eat those rainbow foods, all the different colors. And if we focus on increasing those plants, we're increasing all the different types of fibers and prebiotic fibers that help feed those gut bugs as well. Those, once again, only plants contain fiber. You may be chewing on a piece of tough meat. I remember back when I ate meat, eating like a roast or something, you'd get those chewy pieces. That's not fiber. Those might be muscle fibers, but it's not the kind of fiber that feeds our microbiome. So we have to get fiber from our plant foods. And so when we say plants, someone says, I don't want to eat plants. We're talking about fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are plants. Fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, legumes, beans, lentils. Some people eat oats, not everybody, but all of those are, we need to eat all of those different things and in all the different colors.
Yes, and a lot of people, you tell them to eat a plant-based diet, they're like, well, what will I eat? And I saw a guy talking about it. He goes, look, 90% of what you eat are plants. They are considered plant foods. Think about it. Even if people eat
Yes,
macaroni, well, the macaroni is made out of, well, I'm not recommending macaroni, but the macaroni is made out of wheat, which is a plant. You know, your
right,
hamburger bun, that's made out of wheat. So there's
right.
a lot of things to eat. So it's
Yes,
just a lot. There's a lot.
yes. And those aren't whole foods, but they are made out of plants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I remember I was just when transitioning, I would start thinking about what foods do I eat that don't have meats. Now, I grew up in a home where we had meat and vegetable. And so it was like, we're going to have hamburgers and hot dogs with, or roast beef with, you know, that kind of thing. But you can have chili without meat. That's not too difficult. You can have
Oh yeah.
spaghetti without meat. I make a lentil bolognese that is delicious. You wouldn't even know it didn't have meat. Not that I haven't had meat in I don't know how many years now, 8 or 9 years. And so to me, it's absolutely delicious. But there's so many things that we can make, and make easy swaps too.
Yes, you can. And I saw this article, some city, they're having a chili cook-off,
Hmm.
and there was a guy there with a vegan chili, and it won. So people worry about taste. I'm telling you, me and Jennifer can attest to this. We both like to eat, And we still eat
Yes.
very delicious food. Plant-based can be
Yes.
so good. So a lot of
Yeah.
people worry about that, but there's nothing to worry about, especially now because it's getting more mainstream. There's so many good cookbooks, and there's really good recipe websites online. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's so easy. Yeah.
Yes,
I've gotten
yes,
so much more creative. Yeah,
yes.
because I used to have just the regular, like we'd have Chinese food one night, spaghetti one night, you know, calzones one night, Mexican one night, and now it's just the whole world's opened up. We have different foods all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So getting back to the health benefits, the next one on the list, it helps regulate blood sugar. If we're
Yes.
eating whole foods break down slowly in the body, which keeps your blood sugar stable. It doesn't give you a bunch of highs and lows. So, and we were talking about what you're saying, 98%, is that 98% of people?
93% of Americans are metabolically unwell.
Good grief.
Yes. And when you think about it, well, cheese is huge. Cheese was huge in my family. I wasn't a big cheese eater, but I'm talking about my husband's family. And when my kids were little, I had one kid that was a major cheese eater, and the other one didn't eat cheese at all. But when we first transitioned, it was like, how do we give up the cheese? Because we had cheese at every meal. And, there's just a
Hmm.
huge push with the dairy industry. But dairy increases insulin. And so people think they're testing their blood sugar, they're wearing their CGM, they their glucose may look normal, but they don't realize their insulin has gone a shot up. And when insulin is high, we don't have growth hormone. We're not rebuilding muscle, and high insulin irritates the artery linings and things like that. And so it's hidden. So we think that having the cheese or having the dairy is helping us with our blood sugar when in fact it's doing the opposite.
So glad you brought that up because there's so many people that have type 2 diabetes and they think going low carb is going to fix it. And the numbers may look better, but what they don't realize is they have high insulin now, and they're making their bodies more insulin resistant, which is going to make them really sick.
Yes, yes. And another thing that dairy has and our animal products, saturated fats. And so
Mm.
many doctors are telling us we have to cut the saturated fats to help with blood sugar control. I know Dr. Furman, he's always talking about that. Reduce your animal foods or eliminate them. He prefer for you to eliminate them to cut that saturated fat to help with blood sugar control.
Yes, and I mean, I can't say everybody understands why it's so important to regulate your blood sugar, but if your blood sugars are always out of whack, this can lead to heart disease, cancer, of course,
Fatty liver.
diabetes, fatty liver. Yes, I mean, even what dementia they're saying now,
Yes. Yeah, type
top
3
three. Yeah,
diabetes. Yes.
so it's
Yes.
very important to keep that
And
in check.
if your blood sugar's out of control, your hormones are out of control. You
Hmm.
cannot get your hormones in balance unless your blood sugar is in balance. You have to get blood sugar in balance.
And of
And
course, go ahead. Sorry.
unfortunately, the way the conventional medical world tests blood sugar, people don't know they have blood sugar problem until they've had some damage already, retinal damage, neuropathies, and things like that. And so learning about blood sugar, testing your blood sugar is very important.
And then, of course, my favorite topic on plant-based eating is heart health. I just, it's one of my favorite things, but
Mhm.
it's really easy. See, the heart is one of the easiest things to make healthier. I mean, the blood pressure, you can get the blood pressure, you can get your cholesterol down. But a lot of people, when they eat plant-based, actually, some people actually start to remove some of the blockages in the heart. And there's other things that can help with that, but we're just talking about the plant-based diet today. So
Right.
I read about a guy recently, just another guy, thousands of people have done this. He had a blockage somewhere, and so he went plant-based, Esselstyn style, and then within a few months, the blockage is gone. It's
Yeah.
amazing, and that's what most of us are dying from. And people say, "Well, I don't worry about having a heart attack." But look, if your circulation is poor, it's going to cause more than just a heart attack. It can start to make your vision get worse because it's not getting blood nutrition. Circulation is everything. It can start to lead to memory problems. It can start to lead to impotence in men.
Mhm.
I mean, we could go on and on.
Right. Right.
Circulation is the key to health. You have to have good circulation, and the plant-based diet is excellent in improving your circulation.
Amen. Yes, so key. And that's another thing. We didn't give a medical disclaimer or anything. Like you wouldn't think going plant-based, I need to give a medical disclaimer. But if you are on heart medication and you switch to a plant-based diet, then there is a really good chance you're going to need to go off of your heart medication. You need to get monitored
Hmm.
because your blood pressure may improve and then you're over medicated. And so you just need to be really careful with that.
And I would find a doctor that's trained in plant-based nutrition probably. Well, you don't
Yes.
have to go that far, but just say, "Hey, doc, I'm going to try something different. I want you to monitor me."
Yeah. Yeah. And if your doctor's telling you not to eat greens because it's
Oh,
going to affect your medicine, you need to find a new doctor.
yes, that's so outdated. I mean, come on, you gotta keep up.
Yes.
If he's not keeping up
Yes.
with the science, fire him.
Yeah. 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 So when clients go on like my resets and things like that, so I have several clients that will do that, or my 14-day liver cleanse where they go plant-based for a week. They're just the first couple of days can be challenging. They do have trouble eating enough. So a lot of times people will say, I need more protein. I'm still tired. It's not because you need the protein. All plants contain protein. It's because you're not eating enough food. And so if you are used to eating a cheeseburger and you switch that for a salad, you just changed everything. You just cut tons and tons of calories. Well, depending on your salad dressing, I guess. But you just cut a lot of, easily could have just cut a lot of calories right there. And so it's making sure that you're replacing something that's calorie dense like that with something else that has calories and lots of nutrients. And so other thing I'll find is, instead of getting that cheeseburger, someone will get that side salad that's the iceberg lettuce with a couple of pieces of tomato and a couple of slices of cucumber. And then they're hungry later on. Well, duh, that little side salad's not going to fill you up at all. There's not enough fiber there. There's not enough anything. A serving of greens is 2 cups. And so when they give you that little side salad, that's not even 2 cups of greens, much less other vegetables. And then I like to have beans or seeds or something on a salad to keep me full as well.
Yes, I'm glad you say that. I've had clients where I'm just so hungry and feel tired and weak, and then ask them what they're eating, and they're not eating enough calories. They have to realize that if you go from a diet of meat and dairy to a diet of plants, you're gonna have to eat more food. But this to me is a good news. I like to eat,
I
and
like to
so do a
eat.
lot of people. So we get to eat more food
Hmm.
and lose weight because these foods are low in calories. It's
Yeah.
hard for me to get 2,000. I have to plan to get 2,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
don't plan for that, I might end up doing 1,500, which is good if you're trying to lose weight. So
Mhm.
it's
Yes.
just all about calories there.
Yeah, and something else that my clients will notice is usually in about day 3 or 4, they'll notice changes in their vision. Their vision has improved. And I never even thought about this, but I know I had a reset where someone commented, I think I'm seeing clearer. And someone else wrote, I think I am too. And so I was like, oh, and now that's just something is common now that I've been running it, which is also a great thing. And it's because, your blood sugar affects your vision and stuff like that. So if you're eating these plants and you're getting rid of those animal products, you're helping to balance your blood sugar. And it can happen as easy and quick as 3 days. You're also clearing out some of those fats. You're helping your body to detox a little bit more, and it's cleaning up your vision, giving you more energy. Now, the first few days, you may have low energy as you make this transition because your gut bugs are yelling for the crap you used to eat. And then as you start feeding them nutrients, they're like, oh, I like these nutrients. So day 3 and 4, your mood's better, your energy is better, and even blood pressure can improve. And joint pain. How many episodes have I talked about the clients I've had who have canceled surgeries from changing their diet? Now, I think it has more to do giving up gluten, but eating plant-based and giving up gluten can help with joint pain too.
Yeah, you were talking about how a lot of your clients have a shoulder problem. They think they may need surgery. They
Yep.
go plant-based for a while, the pain goes away. And I saw an article, not an article, but there was a guy that graduated from MIT. He was some kind of I think he was a spinal surgeon. he quit because he found he started doing research. Some people they needed spine surgery, and the surgery may be, it may be 2 months before they can get it. Some of these people, before the 2 months were up, they would be out of pain. And so he started compiling evidence, data, like why are these people getting out of pain without surgery? He found that they were eating mostly plant-based, and the people who are eating mostly plant-based diets they didn't need the surgery. And
Yeah.
a lot of times they would give people surgery and it wouldn't fix the pain because these people are still eating foods that keep them inflamed. So this is how powerful this is. Going on a plant-based diet can affect your pain levels even.
Yes. 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 I love it. Yes. We talked about the microbiome. We talked about the benefits. We talked about the changes to your body. What have we left out?
Uh,
Well, let's just start with how they can transition. Yes, we're
yes,
glad you're
yeah.
here and that you want to eat more plant-based. So now what do you eat? So if we start with breakfast, I know for me, I usually eat a smoothie bowl. And so it'll blend up like today. I love those little red pears. I blended up red pear with spinach, chia seeds, and flax seeds. And I blend mine with water, but some people use non-dairy milk. But the pear makes it sweet enough. But I blended that up until it was nice and creamy. And then I topped it with some non-dairy yogurt and some berries. And so that was my breakfast. Now, you don't have to be that complicated, but I mean, it's not complicated to make a smoothie. Make a
No,
smoothie. Yeah, that's something that's easy. I don't recommend that you eat it with a straw, because then you eat it really fast and you don't register that you're full and digestion begins in your mouth. And so that's why I put mine in a bowl and top it with stuff so that I chew. Hemp seeds would have been great to add more protein and fiber too if you're concerned about protein. You could add protein powders too. Just look for whey. You don't want whey, and their whey is inflammatory. But we have digestion begins in our mouth. So when we see the food, that's when it starts. And then we smell the food. And then we put it in our mouth, and our salivary glands release enzymes to help break down carbohydrates. And so we want to get that digestive system started. We're using a straw. We're not allowing all of that. We're not allowing our tongue to taste. We're not allowing those enzymes to release to help begin the breakdowning process to help you digestion and prevent bloating. So anyway, I got on a tangent, but I love smoothies. Some people eat oatmeal already. If you do eat oats, I recommend oat groats. Oat groats, they look kind of like rice or barley, but that's the real whole oats. You do have to soak them first. It's not really quick. But if we go for a good, better, best, you're just switching to plant-based. Do the best you can. Choose the oats that you can. Always buy them organic. Always, always, always buy them organic, because they are always sprayed for better harvesting if they're not organic. But oats is a really easy one too. So oats, oatmeal, a chia pudding. What are some other things? Even soup. Used to eat soup for breakfast or steamed vegetables. Make a tofu scramble or a chickpea scramble with some vegetables. What am I missing for breakfast?
all those are really good because I think, let's see, I like tofu scrambles. I like smoothies. Breakfast beans, I've seen recipes for breakfast beans. And some people don't even eat breakfast.
Right, right. Which Dr. Greger says we should eat breakfast and skip
I
dinner.
agree. I agree.
Yes. I do make my own granola. Having your
Yes.
own granola with some yogurt and some berries, that's a wonderful way to start your day. And then for lunch for me, I'm all about the big salad. And so I have a salad every day. I always have a salad mix. If I don't have a salad mix, then I buy the coleslaw mix or the broccoli slaw mix, put that on my plate, and then I put leftovers on top. How easy is that? And so it
Oh
takes me
yeah.
like 2 seconds to make my lunch. And then making salad dressing. So I have some links in my YouTube, Holistic Jen, with salad dressings that are so quick and easy. If I were buying some at the store, some brands I like is I'll look at Newman's Own. Always read the ingredients, always read the ingredients, always read the ingredients. But looking for some that are nice and clean. I've seen some that are, I think it's Newman. Is it Newman's Own? It's been so long since I have bought a salad dressing. Just using apple cider vinegar and squeeze a lemon or something is delicious. But I like to make my own with seed butters like tahini or sunflower butter or something like a creamy dressing.
And so dinner, there's lots of options. Roasted vegetables are really good. You can make your own cashew cream sauce. Uh, Also, I like casseroles. I like to do casseroles with, broccoli casseroles, vegetable casseroles. I like those. I mean, sometimes I just do beans and rice. This is also a diet that can be very affordable
Yes.
because beans and
Yes.
rice and collard greens is a really healthy meal and it's cheap, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even so I teach culinary. I'm a culinary coach, whole food plant-based culinary coach, but my husband's not. But my husband eats like I do. And if I go out of town, his go-tos are spaghetti, taco salad. You don't have to have meat for taco salad. Taco salad with black beans or mashed pinto beans or something. You don't have to have cheese for taco salad, either. So spaghetti, chili, taco salad, black beans and rice, those are easy. Add, for me, you need to add a green to every meal. I like greens. I would add some steamed broccoli or some roasted green beans. When in doubt, just throw a bunch of vegetables on a pan and roast them in the oven. There you go. Roasted vegetables, add a can of beans if you do eat canned beans. I prefer cooked beans, but I get in a rush just like the rest of you. And so sometimes I'll have to use some cooked beans or frozen peas, frozen green peas. Great way to add protein and fiber to any meal.
Also soups. I do a veggie soup that everybody likes, even my wife
Yes.
and one of my old friends. And then you can make your own veggie burgers sometimes. I don't do that a lot, but there are some good healthy veggie burger recipes.
Yes.
Pretty much
Super quick and
anything you
easy.
can
Mhm.
make on the standard American diet, you can make it plant-based.
Yeah, I haven't seen something that I can't make. I make cauliflower wings. We make nachos. We make burgers. Yeah. Yeah.
Pizza even. I saw that pizza you
Pizzas.
made. Oh man, it looked good.
Yep, yep. When you eat plant-based, it's a lifestyle. Is not a diet. If you go to my Instagram, I don't even know what my Instagram handle is. It's like Jen underscore Whitmire, maybe. Anyway, I post what I eat every day, and I have for 8 or 9 years, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that's kind of how I learned how to eat whole food plant-based. When my daughter, she was 10 years old at the time, and she said, I'm vegan. And I panicked because she was an athlete. And I thought, oh my God, how do I make sure she's getting all the nutrients she needs? Because when I got my master's in health science and we studied nutrition, they told us it was dangerous to be vegan. And so I've had to relearn it's not dangerous. We thought you had to food combine to get all your essential amino acids. No, you don't. There, you can get all of your essential amino acids easily. You don't even have to try. You're going to get them all. And we recycle proteins too. So you don't need to worry about that. But what I did was I would look to see what are other plant-based athletes eating in a day so that I could see what are they eating. And so ever since then, I've been posting what I eat, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, hoping that it can help someone else who's looking just like I was. What is a way that I can eat to make sure I'm getting all my nutrients and feeling full all day?
And the best part, see, a lot of people are perfectionists. I'm a perfectionist,
Yeah.
but you don't
Yeah.
have to be perfect. You just have to start. Even starting with a meatless Monday, starting with one plant-based meal a day will
That's
start
how
to
we
shift
started.
your health. And you will
Hmm.
start to like, hey, I like this. I like the way I feel after I eat a plant-based meal. I feel lighter. I don't feel bloated and nasty. And then you're
Yes.
like, well, maybe I'll try two plant-based meals and tomorrow I'll try three. I love this lifestyle, I really do. And I
Me
was
too.
a junk food person before this, you know.
Yeah.
I love living this way. It's a lifestyle to be healthy and lighter and you have more energy in your
Yes.
bowels. We haven't talked about that today, but your bowels work a lot better too.
Yes. And so how long have you been whole food plant-based?
Let's see, about 13 years.
Wow. Yeah. So it's only 8 years for me.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, if you want to learn more about Dan, you can find him at danthenaturalman.com, and he has a 5-day program coming up soon. We are recording the end of April 2025. So if you're listening to this later on, his program may already be out. But if you're listening to it brand new, it is coming out soon. So watch for that. You can find out more about me at holisticgen.com. And I have a membership where I teach people how to cook whole food plant based and herbs and more. And you can find out more about me at holisticgen.com. That is with a W-W-H, holisticgen.com. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Comment below and let us know, are you already whole food plant-based? Are you on the fence? Do you disagree with something we said? We love to hear from you. We want to hear from you. Thank you, and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you again next week.